evening. With Haryanto Diman, I'm Olivia Quay with a special edition of The Big Story.
From September 1st, Singapore will open up entry to all travellers from two countries, Brunei and New Zealand. Now, anyone who has remained in either country for the last consecutive 14 days prior to their entry will not be required to serve a stay-home notice.
That's right. Well, instead, visitors will undergo a COVID-19 test upon arrival at the airport and will only be allowed to go about their activities in Singapore after receiving a negative test result. Singapore will also allow general travel to Brunei and New Zealand. But for now, if you're travelling to either country, you'll be subject to their entry requirements.
Separately, we are in the process of ongoing discussions with both Brunei and New Zealand on reciprocal green lane arrangements. And when we are ready with the reciprocal green lane arrangements with these two countries, we will announce the details. But for now, the changes that I've highlighted refer to our border measures with regard to travelers from these countries, from all over the world, but specific to these two countries. We are making a move based on the evidence, based on our assessment of risk.
Transport Minister Ong Ye Kung has also given a statement on Singapore opening up to travellers from Brunei and New Zealand. He said the reviving air travel will help the economy recover, especially the devastated aviation sector.
I think this is a small, cautious step to start to reopen aviation and resuscitate Changi Airport as well as SIA. I believe we can strike a good balance between keeping Singapore safe and travellers here safe, as well as reviving the air traffic sector. Remember, as a small open economy, to survive, we got to keep our borders open. To earn a living, we got to have connections with the world, and to thrive and to prosper, we must be an aviation hub.
Well, additionally, Mr. Ong said that Singapore is looking to negotiate travel corridors and travel bubbles with like-minded countries and using tests to replace stay-home notices.
The airline industry is quite clear. You have a SHN of 14 days, 7 days, you do discourage travel quite a bit. So we have to try to have like-minded partners, similar risk profile, similarly successful in controlling the virus, open up a bubble, open up a channel, and use tests to replace SHN. And I think that is the direction to go to.
Now, the stay-home notice period for travellers arriving from low-risk countries will be shortened to 7 days from the current 14. Now, these travellers can serve the SHN at their place of residence.
Well, these low-risk countries are Australia, excluding Victoria State, Macau, mainland China, Taiwan, Vietnam and Malaysia. All other incoming travellers will continue to serve their 14-day SHN at dedicated facilities. And regardless of the duration of SHN, whether on a 7 or 14-day regime, the COVID-19 test will continue to be administered before the end of the SHN.
Now, meanwhile, travel will be allowed for students pursuing academic qualification overseas. But overseas studies should be of at least 1 academic year, and for courses which require physical presence in the educational institution, which will lead to attainment of academic qualifications. Existing students completing the balanced duration of such programs, even if that's less than an academic year, are included.
Students below 18 years old may be accompanied by an adult, and mature students may travel overseas with their dependents who will be residing with them for the duration of their studies.
Now, meanwhile, Olivia, from September 1st, the list of public facilities where exercise classes can be held will be expanded. These will include open spaces at Sport SG sports centres and parks, as well as HDB common areas.
Now, these classes in newly opened areas must be organised by an instructor who will be responsible for ensuring that the safe management measures are implemented.
The requirement is that all instructors who are conducting such classes will have to be registered, and there will be a registration process put in place, and they will have to be quite careful in making sure they know who are the participants in their classes and do all the necessary checks, including temperature screening, ensuring compliance with safe management measures.
From August 29th, visitors to Lucky Plaza and Peninsula Plaza will only be able to do so depending on the last digit of their NIRC or foreign IC number. This applies only on the weekends.
Those with an even last digit on their cards can visit these malls only on designated even dates, while those with an odd last digit can visit only on odd dates.
We did something similar for our more popular markets recently, so it is a system that we are familiar with. The Multi-Ministry Task Force will continue to monitor the situation closely, and other premises that face similar crowd management issues may also be required to adopt this entry restriction if necessary.
The task force has also observed in recent weeks that recorded music playing in restaurants is very loud, which causes patrons to talk louder to be heard. As an added precaution, the rules on playing recorded music at all F&B outlets will be tightened.
We have not said anything about recorded music, and we have observed some F&B outlets where the recorded music, the piped music, is being played quite loudly. And this is a concern because of the risk of people speaking loudly and droplets spreading, especially when diners are in a restaurant in close proximity within a table without their mask on. And so as an added precaution, we will tighten the rules to make very clear to all F&B outlets that recorded music at these F&B outlets will only be allowed as soft background music.
Well, you can visit straitstimes.com for more details on today's press conference. You can also watch the full press conference on our YouTube channel later tonight.
Subscribe by hitting the red button below, of course, if you're on YouTube. Once again, I'm Haryanto Diman with Olivia Quay. Have a good evening, and we'll see you on Monday.